ironic he's going to be pitching against us, and he's pitching so very well. But as you say,
you got to go out and play and worry about what we do. If
you guys
we play
about ready?
Good fundamental baseball, we're going to win. Now, if we're going to let somebody
It's
else
on the
affect
chair.
our thinking on what we're trying to do, then we're not going to win.
are we going to win?
If we play our fundamental baseball, we're going to win.
Dave Ricketts, our guest. I'll be back in just 1 minute.
Here come the Cardinals.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Buck. That's a winner. Now, those are 3 words I enjoyed saying quite often during the 1987 Cardinal season. And what a year it was. From the very first pitch on opening day at Wrigley Field to the final out in the Minneapolis Metrodome. This Cardinal team supplied us with enough thrills and special moments to last forever. And let's not overlook you, the fans, the millions of great Redbird supporters who arrived at the ballpark in record numbers. Now, they say all baseball fans believe in miracles. The question is, how many do you believe in? In 1987, it seems like the miracles never ceased. And I invite you to join me in reliving many of them during the next hour or so. Our story begins in February, beneath the warm sunshine of St. Petersburg, Florida.
He's nothing but the
Hamilton got the bus ball up there.
Spring training 1987. Time for the players to fine-tune their muscles for the upcoming campaign. Time for the fans, young and old, to get their first glimpse of their heroes after the long, cold winter. And time for the young ball players to impress the coaches. And that's what Tom Herr's son, Aaron, does. Could be the Cardinals' second sacker in the future. But he wasn't the only one stealing the spotlight. Right-handed hitter Jim Lindemann consistently overpowers opposing pitchers throughout the spring.
All of a sudden, he's starting to hit pitches and drive pitches better than he ever had before. So he's making better contact. He's gotten a lot of confidence. He went to Puerto Rico. He tore the cover off the ball. And I think he's ready to step in as an everyday big league ball player.
Lindemann is a bright spot, but there's still a cloud of uncertainty surrounding the Cardinal camp. Jack Clark, Willie McGee, Ken Daly, and Jeff Lottie are all coming back from off-season surgery.
We're a club that's probably got more question marks than anybody in baseball. And then the whole key to our ball club is going to be, is Vince Coleman going to be a better offensive ball player? If Vince improves offensively, he'll set the table for the whole lineup.
A bulked-up Ozzie Smith will hit behind Vince in the '87 season. Ozzie's off-season conditioning program added inches to his frame. On the mound, young left-hander Joe McGrain impresses pitching coach Mike Rourke. But the biggest surprise of the spring comes off the field. The Cardinals acquire all-star catcher Tony Pena from the Pirates. Andy Van Slyke, Mike LaValliere, and pitcher Mike Dunn become Buccaneers. With the new starting lineup set, Whitey and company head north for the 162-game regular season. Opening day, Wrigley Field, the Cubs, thought by many baseball people to be a much improved ball club with the addition of Andre Dawson, provide an early test. Cardinal ace John Tudor is on the mound, but the Cubbies strike for 3 runs. Then the Cardinals strike back, the first of many in a season full of miraculous rallies. Spring sensation Jim Lindemann gets it going.
3-0 Chicago. Up the middle, and the kid gets his first RBIs of '87. In comes Ozzie, in comes Tommy, and it's now 3-2.
Shortly thereafter, pitcher Tudor puts his team on top.
And he bats with the sacks jammed here in the 3rd. Oh, it'll get through, and the Cards get on top. Lindemann scores, Pena scores, and the Cards lead 5-3.
The Cardinals are now rolling, and as reliever Bill Dawley secures the victory, a happy bunch of birds walk off the field, 9-3 victors, 1 down, 161 to go. Home opener, Busch Stadium. A noontime downtown rally fuels an already frenzied group of Cardinal supporters. Baseball fever is everywhere, and the Cardinals, fresh off a 4-2 road trip, look forward to a big night at Busch Stadium. Even the threat of rain doesn't deter the more than 48,000 fans arriving to greet their heroes for the first time in '87. Festivities began with an appearance by the world-famous Clydesdales. But from here, the high expectations are dashed by a driving rain and a flood of Expo runs. Cardinals starter Greg Matthews is roughed up for 4 runs in the first. Montreal wins it 9-4, dampening the spirits of Redbird fans and winning the first of what will be many heated confrontations between the Expos and the Cards. The Blas, which struck on opening night at Busch Stadium, are back again as the Mets jump to a 5-0 lead. But the Cardinals refuse to give up. They chip away, tying the game. Tying it again in the 10th, thanks to rookie catcher Tom Pagnozzi's first hit in the big leagues. A short time later, Tommy Herr steps to the plate with the bases loaded, and some 50,000 fans praying for one more hit.
Orozco ready to throw the first pitch to Herr, and he hits it a mile. Tommy Herr could have a grand slam. Tommy Herr does. Tommy Herr belts a 10th inning grand slam home run.
The wild celebration, which is touched off at Busch Stadium, comes to an abrupt halt the next day. The Cardinals win 4-2, sweeping the Mets. But they lose pitcher John Tudor for the bulk of the year with a broken leg. His injury, the latest in a season full of broken bones, pulled muscles, and never-ending ailments. This '87 season consistently confronts the Cardinals with adversity. The Redbirds' woes begin when catcher Tony Pena breaks his left thumb during the 3rd game of the season. He's out for 34 games.
Little did we know we were going to have him 2.5 games, and then he was going to get hurt and be out 6 weeks. And what a blessing it was that Pagnozzi and Lake stepped in and did the job they did, and we really played very, very well when Pena was out of lineup.
Pitching ace John Tudor falls next, on a day when he's not even scheduled to play. Mets catcher Barry Lyons slides into the Cardinal dugout and breaks Tudor's right leg. He's gone for 3 months. Just 4 days later, second baseman Tom Herr joins the walking wounded when he tears a groin muscle. Herr goes on the disabled list for 21 days. The first month of the season ends. Pena, Tudor, and Herr are on the shelf. Amazingly, these battling birds are still in first place. In May, Landrum, Lindemann, and McGrain fall. Somehow, these Cards stand pat with a 1-game lead in the East. In July, the injury list includes Danny Cox. The Giants' Mike Aldretti lines a pitch off of Cox's foot. The right-hander goes on the disabled list with a broken toe.
Oh, that hits Cox, it looks like, in the foot, and Pena throws to first in time to get Aldretti, and Tony Pena quickly out there to check on Danny Cox. A bullet off the bat of Aldretti. He is out 1, 2, 3.
1 month later, Kurt Ford is sidelined with a broken right hand. Trainer Gene Giesemann seems to be Mr. Popularity this year.
We've had a full course of all injuries, and unfortunately, it's one of those things that you have no control over. You can't prevent some of the injuries that have happened, and you just have to go about and treat them the best way possible, and hope to get them back in the lineup as quickly as possible.
The starting pitching is back on track. Tudor and Cox find their stride in September. But the kingpin of the offense crumbles. Jack Clark severely sprains his right ankle against the Expos.
Jack was going down the line, and the ball sailed into the first baseline a little bit, and he wanted to beat Ty Cobb instead of Babe Ruth, and tried to avoid the tag, and when he did that, he twisted his ankle. People kept saying, "How's your ankle?" And no one understood it. His ankle was all right. He'd have been able to play in 10 days or 2 weeks with the ankle. It was that he tore some tissue away from a bone, and it never did heal, and it was quite a time before Dr. London was able to x-ray him and diagnose it correctly, and it was really a 6-week injury. So it was a freak injury, and it was an injury that I thought would cost us the division.
Jack Clark's rehabilitation is day by day, but the days turn into weeks as the ankle won't respond to treatment. So Herzog hopes for more brilliant baseball from his bench. While the injuries mount, so do Cardinal victories. The Cardinals jump on Mets starter Ron Darling for runs in each of the first 3 innings before delivering the knockout blow in the 5th.
Clark sends it a long way to center, way back. It is gone. Wow.
With another win over the Mets, the Cardinals leave the Big Apple having won 5 of 6 from the New Yorkers during the month of April, and more importantly, having won renewed respect from the world champions of 1986. April turns into May, and one Cardinal hero is replaced by another. This time it's Willie McGee, who ambers to the plate in the 6th inning with his team trailing the Dodgers by a couple of runs.
Oh, sends this one deep into right field. No question in the second deck as Willie McGee.
McGee's home run heroics are short-lived. A Dodger run in the 9th sets the stage for extra innings. And in the 10th, the Redbirds respond.
2 outs, bottom of the 10th, tied 4-4.
It's going to be another breaking ball.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. Clark rounding third, heading home. Guerrero drops the ball, and the Cardinals will win it 5-4.
Lake's game-winning hit gives the Cardinals their 5th victory in 6 games and keeps his team in first place, 1 game ahead of the New York Mets. It's approaching the end of May, and the first-place Cards are looking for their 5th win in a row. The most controversial moment of the still young season occurs in the 2nd inning, when Jack the Ripper faces the Astros' Mike Scott with the bases loaded.
Come in.
Here it goes, if it stays fair. And it is a home run.
Oh, we'll get an argument here. Look at this argument. Man, oh man. Hallinier left the dugout.
The debate as to whether Clark's blast lands fair or foul lingers long after the final out. But there's no debating the Cardinals' play. Their latest winning streak reaches 5, and they still lead the Cubs by a game in the National League East. They say you can never score enough runs at Wrigley Field, and with that in mind, the Cardinals go to work early and often. Leading 5-0 in the 4th, the Redbirds press for more. Opposite field. He pulls it into the corner. The ball gets down fair. Tunnel will score. So will Coleman. That makes it 7-0. Clark hits it fair, and the score goes up. But in the Cubs' 4th, Chicago bats come to life. 7 runs cross the plate, 3 on this blast by Andre Dawson. And suddenly, what once was a 9-0 lead is now a 9-7 nail-biter. Fortunately, some strong defensive play keeps the charging Cubbies at bay. And as Todd Worrell earns his 13th save, the Cards win 13-9, going 3 up over slumping Chicago.
He'll throw him out.
Tags, and
He'll throw him out. What'd I tell you?
Out.
Lake is out, too.
When the Cardinals and Expos play, it's always a slam-bang affair, and this game in Montreal is no different. The lead changes hands 4 times. Trailing by 2 in the 5th, Jack Clark steps up to the plate looking for number 22.
And it is gone. Way back.
The game remains tied into the 11th when the Cardinals and Ozzie look to squeeze out another 1-run victory.
Squeeze play. Beautiful. It finally works, and the Cardinals take the lead.
After that, Ken Daly records his first big league victory since 1985. And the Cardinals now lead the Expos and Mets by 6.5 games. Their largest lead in the National League East in 5 years. As the month of June rolls to an end, the Cardinals have the best record in all of baseball. Offense, defense, relief pitching. It was amazing to find the team clicking so well, especially considering the rash of injuries. Different ailments striking different players almost every week. But on this team, when somebody goes down, somebody else gets a chance to shine. And whether it's Ford or Lake, Morris or Oquendo, the Redbird reserves are playing a vital role in the revitalization of the 1987 Cardinals. When Whitey Herzog arrives at the ballpark, he fills out the lineup card even before he dons his uniform. During '87, finding the right names to complete the form is a challenge, a mysterious maze the White Rat must solve.
I couldn't just put one lineup card on my desk. I needed 3 or 4, so somebody else would get hurt, somebody would get the fever, somebody would have the flu, and there's just no end to it.
But time after time, Herzog displays new heroes. A group of super subs contributes more to this injury-riddled club than even their skipper might have imagined. There's Lake, Pagnazzi, Lawless, Booker, Ford, Morris, Laga, Lindemann, Johnson, Green, Dreesen, and a secret weapon named Jose Oquendo.
I probably surprised a lot of people, but I think that most of my success could be the hard work, positive attitude, and good attitude around me.
Jose plays every position but catcher during the year. His hard work and zeal turns into Cardinal dividends as he ignites Redbird rallies.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Oquendo comes through. McGee scores, and with 4 runs in the 10th inning, the Cardinals come back against really insurmountable odds to score another victory.
No matter where Herzog inserts Oquendo, the switch hitter sparkles. He bats .286 with 4 game-winning runs batted in during the regular season.
When you talk about our most valuable player, Jack, I still got to say maybe it's Oquendo.
The good play of this band of super subs makes the Redbirds unsinkable. Every player coming off the bench makes positive contribution.
1 run is home, and that is all. If he didn't make it. They got him at the plate. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
We've all contributed in certain ways, and I think there is a bond. I think there's a lot of guys pulling and helping, and there's times where they'll have extra hitting, and one of the extra men don't know about it, and somebody will pull in and grab you and say, come on, let's hit, let's work on some things. And all this together is brought us closer, which makes a lot better team unity.
Morris, and it may be gone. It is over the wall.
Whitey really does know how to utilize his bench. He's great at double switching. He's great at using his bench. He has a way of keeping us all happy because we know that even though we're not starting, there's a good chance we'll be in the game before it's over.
And a long one down the right side, and yes, it's gone. Ford hits his 2nd home run of the night.
I feel that when I'm coming off the bench, I got to be very aggressive up there and also, at the same time, be selective.
Opposing ball clubs can't get too confident because Herr, Pena, and Clark are out of the lineup. One of the unsung saviors will rise up and sting them.
Base hit, Booker! Herr scores, here comes Willie. It's tied. The Cardinals come back here in the 8th inning.
Everybody's having, quality years, and Steve Lake, Oquendo, Booker, all these people have helped us.
With the Birds badly decimated with injuries in the first half of '87, this gang of no-name role players helps guide St. Louis to a 9-game bulge in the Eastern Division before the All-Star break. 26 games over the 500 mark. And down the stretch in September, experienced veterans David Green and Dan Dreesen deliver key blows. These never-say-die characters could get an Academy Award for their role as a supporting cast.
For an extra player, it's probably the most important thing. I mean, you want to feel part of the team.
Yes, the White Rat made these role players feel like top cats as he jotted their names into the lineup. It's doubleheader time against the Dodgers at Busch Stadium. 4 games in 2 nights. After winning the first 5-4, the Cards look to do it again in Game 2. Trailing 4-2 in the ninth, it seems over. But catcher Steve Lake isn't ready for bed, even though he comes to the plate well past midnight.
Lake has a hit in 3 at-bats. He hits it deep, going back, Landreau, and it is gone! Oh my, Steve Lake! A 2-run homer in the 9th, and this one is tied 4-4 at 2:33 in the morning.
With the game tied in the 10th and the clock ticking away, Jack Clark steps up to bat. Even Clark dreams of game-winning RBIs, but at 3 in the morning, this is no dream.
The 2-2 up the middle, base hit! Here comes Lawless! Clark has done it! The Cardinals sweep the Dodgers! The Cardinals sweep the Dodgers!
After taking 2 from the Dodgers the previous night, the Cardinals look to sweep LA once again. Excited fans watched their Redbirds defeat Fernando Valenzuela in Game 1 as Jack Clark and Willie McGee hit back-to-back homers in the 4th. Now it's Game 2, and Terry Pendleton finds himself at the plate with the game on the line in the 10th inning.
Now the Dodgers look for 2, and there's a hot shot through Hatcher. The Cardinals win it! The Cardinals win it!
In the span of 48 hours, 2 incredible evenings of baseball. The Cardinals score 24 runs in 4 games and sweep the Dodgers. At the All-Star break, the first-place Redbirds are the talk of baseball. Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, and Jack Clark are National League All-Stars, and their team is perched on top in the East with a 9-game bulge over second-place Montreal. Whether it's the home run or the hit and run, the 87 Redbirds are an explosive bunch. During the first half of the 87 season, no team in baseball swung the bat like the St. Louis Cardinals, even in batting practice. If you pitched it, this team would hit it. Once the game began, it was the same story. The windup, the pitch, and then watch out. The players enjoyed watching the Cardinal run machine explode time and again during the first half of the season. Up through the All-Star break, the running Redbirds averaged just under 6 runs a game and made headlines for an offensive attack which led the league in hitting and runs scored.
We have an offense that's a good mix of speed and intelligent hitters and with a little bit of power mixed in. Obviously, Vince sets the tone for our offense, and as far as I'm concerned, as he goes, so we go.
Now he's leaning towards second. He's going.
Is Coleman bunting? No, he's not. There's another hit.
Coleman gets a great jump. It's a deep to left field. That was well tagged. It's going. It is gone. A home run for Coleman.
They have to be aware that we're going to steal or whether we're going to hit and run, and then that puts a lot of pressure on the middle infielders, and it kind of takes the concentration level away from the pitchers. So, and then that's, you know, a plus for us, for them to groove a pitch down the middle of the plate, and then we're able to put the ball in play, and that causes a whole lot of confusion. You know, I hate to be defensive against this ball club because, you know, I never know where to throw the ball.
Having the most difficult time of all deciding where to throw the ball are opposing pitchers. At the All-Star break, Cardinal batting averages were, for the most part, eye-popping, even in the year of the so-called lively ball. If this team fell behind, no one panicked. Fans know the sooner their heroes trailed in a game, the more time they had to catch up. And in '87, the comeback Cards rallied 51 times for victories. Victories which probably would have meant defeats for most teams.
It's been consistency, you know, the guys are playing up to their potential as we did in '85, and with this type of club, that's what we have to do to be, to be in a position that we're in. We can't go out there and rely on a long ball, so everybody has to hit for a good average, decent average, and with the speed we have, if we're hitting, pretty close to our potential, that means we're going to be on base, and that means things are going to happen, and that's going to set it up for Jack Clark and some of the other RBI men.
Swing and a high fly ball to deep right field by Clark. It's gone, and he leads.
Swing and goodbye, baby. Look at this thing go.
Swing and a long one. Would you believe it? Another home run by Clark. Swing and a long one to left field. That's number 25. There she goes, way back there in left field. Swing and a long one, and we are tied. Swing and a long one. Good night, everybody. Good night. For the first 3 months of the '87 season, the Cardinals' number 22 was the most feared slugger in baseball. For some reason, a baseball bat and Jack Clark seemed like they were meant for each other. For the Cardinals, Clark and his bat meant staggering offensive production. The Ripper had 5 homers in April, 9 homers and 35 RBIs in May, and 22 of his career-high 35 home runs by the end of June.
My job is to provide some power in the lineup and be the threat to hit a home run. The other guys, the speed creates a lot of mistakes, steals a lot of base, gets in scoring position with no outs or 1 out, and so you don't always have to get a hit to get the runs in.
And he singles to center field. McGrain scores. Coleman scores. 2-2. Tommy Herr comes through.
So I think this is the best offensive ball club that I've been on. because we sustained our offense for a long time. And early in the year, we scored 7 or 8 runs a game, and people said, well, they're not going to do that the whole year. And we just kept doing it.
You're going to win some games.
Here's a shot into center field. Jefferson on the run, and he's not there, and it's over the left field wall. 2-run home run, Willie McGee.
It's an exciting team. I enjoy watching it myself. You know, when I'm not involved on the bases or up a batter in the field, you know, I enjoy watching guys play myself because anything can happen with this type of team.
Swinging up the middle, and it goes through. Swinging a long one to right field. Base hit. Grand slam. Please play. Swinging, and there she goes, baby. Everybody. The Cardinals were on a roll, and personally, I was on a roll also. In the month of July, I made the trip to Cooperstown, New York, inducted into the broadcaster's wing for the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'll live off that memory for a long, long time, perhaps forever. In 1950, the late Al Bannister took a chance on an announcer who'd never did a baseball game in his life, and I've loved him ever since. And then Bing Devine in 1953 in Rochester, New York. And then the folks in St. Louis in 1954, and primarily Gussie Bush, a wonderful gentleman, 88 years old as of today, still going very strongly, and a wonderful friend of mine along with his wife, Margaret, and August Bush now, who runs Anheuser-Busch in the ball club. I've had the pleasure of broadcasting Cardinal baseball. The first year I was there, 54, one Sunday afternoon in May, Stan Musial hit 5 home runs. And there's a drive to deep right center field. Way back, home run. I said, my God, does he do this every Sunday? He did something every Sunday. He didn't hit 5 home runs every Sunday, but imagine the people I've had the fun of describing. Boyer, McCarver, and Maris, and Cepeda, and Cunningham, and Javier, and Grote, and currently Ozzie Smith, and Jack Clark, and Willie McGee, and Bob Forsch, and the best manager who ever managed, Whitey Herzog. The biggest kick I get is to communicate with those who are exiled from the game. In hospitals, homes, prisons, those who have seldom seen a game, some who can't travel to the game, those who are blind. And after all of these years, I realize that my energy comes from the people at the other end.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
It's such a beautiful sport with no politics involved, no color, no class. Only as a youngster can you play, and as a pro, can you win. The game has kept me young, involved, and excited. And to be up here with the gems of baseball, and this is like, for you people, I'm sure, looking at some diamonds in the front window of a jewelry store. For me to be standing up here is a thrill and a joy which I'll never forget. Even though I've been doing it for so long, you know what I miss? I miss not being with my ball club and not being involved in that doubleheader today. So when I am able to digest what has transpired here this weekend, and Tuesday night walk up into the booth, have the best seat in the house, and broadcast for a team which has a pretty fair chance of winning this year, I want the Cardinal fans to know when they hear me that I am humble, happy, and very grateful. Thank you.
Mets are going to win, right?
No! Never.
Who's going to win?
Cardinals!
The Mets are surging, the Cardinals struggling, and suddenly the talk around the batting cage in late July is of a subject which hasn't been discussed in quite a while, a pennant race. Coming into this important three-game homestand with the New Yorkers, the Cards have lost 4 in a row, their longest losing streak of the season. As Cardinal fans pack Busch Stadium in anticipation of an exciting series Met fans, few and far between in St. Louis, speak with renewed confidence.
You take them position for position, match them up, Fernandez against Clark, everything except the shortstop. Then the Mets are the best.
Try as they might, the Cards can't turn the tide. Even a claim that New York third baseman Howard Johnson's bat is corked, it's overruled. And as Tony Pena and Johnson struggle over the controversial piece of lumber, the Cardinals are just plain struggling. The Mets leave town with a 3-game sweep and leave Redbird fans praying a 7-game losing streak will soon come to an end.
Into the hole. Larkin for one at first. They turned it.
As August nears its end, the Cardinals are mired in yet another losing streak. This time, John Tudor is asked to halt a 5-game skid. Making his challenge more difficult is the fact that Cardinal bats are no longer ringing with authority. But Tudor flashes the form he displayed in '85, pitching a 3-hitter into the 7th inning, and the Cards defeat the Reds 2-1. As he has done all year, Todd Worrell secures the victory with another outstanding job in relief.
Let's see what Worrell does.
Struck him out!
He threw him a slider.
Sandberg did not like the call. Lee Wire walks away. Worrell gets the save. Danny Cox the victory.
Former Yankee manager Bob Lemon once said, "The two most important things in life are good friends and a strong bullpen." In '87, the Cardinals had one of the strongest bullpens in baseball. With a 1-2 punch of Todd Worrell and Ken Daly, the Redbirds very seldom blew late-inning leads. The facts alone tell the story. The Cards were 77-7 when leading after 7 innings, and they lost only twice when on top after 8.
I think overall, when the chips are down, we've come through and been able to hold the lead and shut the door when necessary.
He struck him out. The ball game is over, and the Cardinals win it by a score of 3-1.
In 1987, it was necessary for Todd Worrell to shut the door quite often. The big right-hander was involved in 41 of the Cardinals' 95 regular season victories. He fanned almost 25% of the batters he faced and once again struck fear in the hearts of the opposition.
1-2 pitch now from Worrell. Blows it by him with a fastball. Out of there. What a pitch.
And a double play ball.
Thank you very much.
They turn it, and the Cardinals get this victory 5-1.
You know, you get certain situations where your heart's pounding 150 miles an hour. The people are yelling and screaming, and you know that you got to reach down and try to make either a perfect pitch or a pitch that the hitter can't hit to get out of a situation. So, there's a lot of things that are happening, and they happen at split-second time, where you really don't have time to think about it until you are able to get away from the game, go in the locker room, sit down, and go, or I got out of that situation, or I made the strike 3 pitch to end the inning.
Yes, sir. See you later, man. A fastball in at the knees. Would you believe that job by Daly? And does he get a glad hand from his catcher?
That left-hander Ken Daly was even in uniform and on the mound in '87 was almost a victory unto itself. Daly's miraculous recovery from a career-threatening off-season elbow operation is, according to Whitey Herzog, the most surprising development of the entire season. While Whitey and many others were pleasantly surprised, Daly was simply determined.
From day one, I always told myself that I was going to pitch again somewhere. I didn't know if I was going to be the same type of pitcher, power pitcher I've always been, but I always told myself that, and I told my wife that I was going to be back somewhere sometime, and the way it happened is just miraculous, and I just thank the Lord for the opportunity.
We would not have been near the ball club. I doubt very much whether we could have finished in the top 3 in the division if Ken Daly didn't come back.
Even though he was brought along slowly at first, not making his first appearance until late May, the Daly diary for '87 is still impressive. He finishes with a career high of 9 victories, and just as important, retires almost 80% of the opposition batters. Some believe hitting is timing, and pitching a matter of upsetting timing. If that's the case, then the duo of Ken Daly and Todd Worrell upset a lot of hitters in '87.
I don't think there's anybody in baseball that would trade a left-hander for a left-hander, Daly for anybody else, or Royal for anybody else. I think those two guys are equal talents. I have just as much confidence in one as I do the other, and I think Daly's going to get nothing but better. My job as a manager is to try to not overuse them, try to keep them healthy, try to make them both millionaires, and hopefully they have long and successful careers.
He needed to.
There's
This time he
McGee
does.
pulling this one back at the fence, and it may tie it. Attaboy, Will. This homer by Willie McGee is one of the few bright spots in a 3-game series with the charging Montreal Expos. It's also a brief one, as Montreal fights back to batter the slumping Cards 8-3, sweeping the series and leaving the Canadians just 2 back of the Birds. Making matters worse is Jack Clark's ill-fated slide into first base during the 6th inning. The Cardinals now head to New York for a series with the Mets, not knowing the status of Clark, wondering about the status of their 113-day reign on top in the National League East.
1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a long one into right. Way back and bye-bye.
It's the biggest game of the year, and the New York Mets are ready to celebrate following Darryl Strawberry's 2-run shot off of John Tudor in the first. The hungry Mets know a victory leaves them just a game and a half behind the Cards in the National League East. Leading 4-2 with 2 out in the 9th, Shea Stadium is ready to explode as Terry Pendleton steps to the plate, knowing the game is in his hands.
Pendleton hits the long one into center field.
Get out of here.
Wilson
Get out of
going
here.
back. It is out of here, and it's tied up at 4-4. Terry Pendleton.
In a season of big hits and miracle comebacks, none loom larger than this. Pendleton's homer rejuvenates his once downtrodden but now delirious teammates. In the 10th, Tommy Herr snaps a 0-for-21 slump, scoring Vince Coleman with a go-ahead run as the Cards stunned the Mets 6-4.
That Friday night ball game, the fact that we were a one-hitter, we were down 4-1 with 2 out in the 9th to come back and tie that game, win an extra inning. And then the next day that we pounded good and pretty good and got 5 or 6 runs in the first few innings, knocked him out and won those 2 ball games. I think that changed everything around. That took a little of the wind out of the Mets' sails, and when I look back at the season, that was a turning point right there.
Let me ask you a stupid question. You gonna win tonight? Well, yes.
After 6 long months, a little laughter helps cut the tension. The entire season has boiled down to the final week, and the batting cage is full of ball players wondering if theirs will be the hit that wins this thing. The Cardinals cling to first place, but New York is just 2 out, Montreal 3, and Buck's boys are about to face the Cards in the season's biggest doubleheader. Game 1. A tense Busch Stadium crowd watches Cardinal rookie Joe McGrain pitch the game of his young career. His 3-hit shutout brings the Birds a 1-0 victory and a sellout crowd onto its feet.
Ball hit up the middle. Look at Ozzie. Fields it and throws on over. Hit a speedy run. One more play for the highlight film.
In Game 2, it's defense and pitching once again. Following Joe McGrain to the mound is Greg Matthews. He holds the Expos at bay until his team can rally in the 6th, manufacturing a run as only the Cardinals can. The Cards go on to score twice more, winning 3-0. With their magic number now at 2, it's the Cardinal pitching which has propelled the team in its drive toward the Eastern Division flag. The doubleheader victory over the Expos signaled the Cardinals' intent on erasing all doubts as to who would win the Eastern Division crown. And at the same time, serve notice the team's starting pitching, once beset by injuries and inconsistency, was now beginning to gel. It is interesting to note that during the regular season, no Redbird starter would win more than 11 games, not one. And never before in the history of divisional play had a team won a title without at least one starter posting a minimum of 14 victories. Yet the Cardinals defied history and the odds. And as the season would come to a climactic finish, it was the starting pitchers leading the way, keeping the team in contention, much as the hitters had done in the first half. As August became September, and September turned into October, it was McGrain, Matthews, Cox, and Tudor responsible for many late-season celebrations at the ballpark.
If you look on other championship teams,
it's happened. Part of the year, hitters have carried pitching staff, and through later in the year when the hitters may be tired, the pitchers might carry them. I mean, that's how you win.
At the beginning of the year, the offense was unbelievable. We were putting so many runs up there. You know, we was winning games 10-8, 9-7, and you know, pitching staff wasn't doing their job. You know, it's fun winning and everything. That's what it's all about. But as a pitching staff, you want to be better than that. You know, you just don't want to win games. You want to shut other teams out. You don't want to give them an opportunity to score.
Cox has struck out a couple. Like Danny Cox, several Cardinal starters regained their form late in the year, a turnabout reflected in the final regular season statistics. Among the National League clubs, St. Louis would finish 5th in overall team earned run average. And in the Eastern Division, only the Mets ended up with a better ERA. A staff high of 11 victories may not be worth shouting about, but it's safe to say that this year the Cardinals won big without a big winner. The 1st of October, temperatures in the mid-30s. But at Busch Stadium, more than 52,000 don't notice the chill. After 159 games played, their Cardinals are one victory away from the Eastern Division title. And here's the pitch on the way, and a smash and a diving stop by Dreesen to Cox for the out. That's the play of the game. The pitch to Smith. Swing and a ground ball through the hole. A base hit. A run home. Here comes Cox. No play. It's 6-1. An exciting moment at Busch Stadium. The pitch. Swing, a half swing. The ball back to Cox. Out at first. That's the winner. The Cardinals have won the Eastern Division crown.
Most guys play in this game for 15, 20 years. You know, they never know what this feeling is like right here, you know. And this is my 3rd year in the league, and I'm right here in the World Series again.
As the Cardinals celebrate their 3rd division title in 6 years, so too does their most valuable player. He doesn't wear a uniform, neither does she. But St. Louis Cardinal fans have proven all year long they are the best in baseball. And this '87 season belongs as much to them as to the players they come to honor. They come to the ballpark for many different reasons, but once they arrive, St. Louis baseball fans all have one thing in common. As you can tell, Cardinal fans aren't afraid to flex their vocal cords when it comes to expressing support. Night after night they arrive, and one glance outside the stadium an hour or so before game time usually gives an indication of what's to come. Busch Stadium in 1987 was more than simply a place to watch a baseball game. Sure, baseball was the focal point, but as the season progressed, this ball yard, situated in the shadow of the arch, became the gateway to good times. And no matter what the weather, 90 degrees on a hot July day, or the crisp, cool air of a shivering September evening, Busch was the place to be seen, the place to be heard, a place where good times were assured both on the field and in the stands.
I scream a lot. I love the team. I really enjoy it a lot. It's great entertainment.
The old saying, what a team, what a time, what a town.
I love my Cardinals. Look at my outfit. I love look at them on TV. I hear them on the radio. I pray for them. I love my Cardinals.
As the season wound down, it soon became apparent this would be a special year for loyal Cardinal supporters, for as they cheered their team to victory, they also cheered themselves into the record book. At one time, even the thought of drawing 3 million fans was considered improbable. Yet in this season of Redbird Records, these fans, people who come to cheer and scream and yell for their heroes, broke the biggest record of all. On October 3rd, Brenda Slover of Orchardville, Illinois, became the 3 millionth person to walk through the turnstiles at Busch Stadium. And while she was honored in a ceremony before the game, Cardinal supporters everywhere knew this day was as much theirs as it was this lady's, who drove with her family to see a baseball game and suddenly found herself a symbol for millions.
We stopped at Centralia and we bought us a lottery ticket. And I said, this is my lucky day. I'm either going to win the lottery or I'm going to be the 3 millionth fan.
To further illustrate the achievement of 3 million, keep in mind New York and Los Angeles are the only other cities to ever reach this milestone. The Dodgers have done so 6 times, yet they draw from a metro area of 10 million. The Mets, who reached the 3 million mark for the first time in '87, share an 18 million population area with the Yankees. By comparison, the St. Louis metro area is just 2.5 million people. A figure which makes the Cardinals' regular season attendance record of 3 million plus even more astounding. No doubt, Redbird fans are a special breed. Take just for example, 73-year-old John Wilkerson, the unofficial mayor of the bleachers. His home away from home is right field. Over the past 40 years, this retired East St. Louis bricklayer has missed only a handful of games. There have been years when he hasn't missed any. You'll find him studying the game he loves in the same seat, section 507, row 18, seat 24. And while players come and go, Wilkerson remains, showing little emotion, eyes transfixed on his beloved Redbirds. This man is just one story in a stadium full of stories. And while each chapter and verse may differ, it all falls under the same heading. Something to do with a love affair between the players and the fans who come to cheer them.
To draw 3 million in a city the size of St. Louis is a phenomenal feat.
It's exciting when we come to the ballpark knowing that it's going to be packed every night, and you know, the enthusiasm that the fans show is a great compliment, and we want to thank them.
If you love Whitey, if you love the Cardinals, you cut your hair like this. I did it. You all should do it. Even the women should do it. My wife should do it.
$3,072,122. That's how many people came to cheer and celebrate with the Redbirds during the regular season. A record-setting love affair involving everyone from 2-year-olds wondering what all the commotion is about, 7-year-olds with a hatful of autographs and a day at the park with Mommy, and 72-year-olds who remember cheering for the Gas House Gang and Stan the Man. 1987 truly was a year in which all eyes were on the Cardinals. Attention which no doubt reflected in the record attendance. They call it baseball, but in St. Louis, it's a 7-month celebration involving a few dozen players and millions of their closest friends. A miracle in sport. A season attendance record of over 3 million fans is more than just a rare achievement. It is proof positive that St. Louis is home to the greatest sports fans in the world. Busch Beer proudly salutes each and every one of you. Tuesday, October 6th, the second season begins before a record crowd at Busch Stadium. 55,331 filled the stands. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Whitey Herzog's Redbirds against Roger Craig's Giants.
A lot of clubs go into a playoffs and World Series. We did a great job just to get here. I don't want this to happen to my club. To me, it's the new season just starting over right now.
Even before the first pitch, St. Louis suffers a setback. A stiff neck sideline scheduled starter Danny Cox. Herzog summons rookie left-hander Greg Matthews to open the series. In the first frame, the Giants break on top, but the Cardinals come back with the tying tally in the third off Giants starter Rick Rutschel.
Comes Pena to score, and we're all even at one.
But the very next inning, the Giants flex their muscle. The Hackman, Jeffrey Leonard, connects for a solo home run to center field. 0-0 taunts Cardinal players and fans alike as he rounds the bases with one flap down. Leonard didn't know these birds are unflappable. After tying the game in the fourth, Harry Pendleton breaks the 2-2 knot with an RBI single in the sixth. Now with the bases loaded, 2 outs and 2 strikes, Matthews bats for himself.
And there's a little looper into center, and it was a breaking ball. And 2 runs will score. And it was a hanging breaking ball. You could have put your hat on it.
It's 5-2 Cardinals. Finally, Matthews and his magic exit in the 8th. With the Birds in a jam, left-handed reliever Ken Daly slams the door on the Giants. And the Cardinals come away with a 5-3 victory in the opener.
Dreesen dug it out.
The very next day, it's a matinee at Busch Stadium. The Wizard and his teammates eagerly take the field, and why not? Today, their best left-hander, John Tudor, is out to slay the Giants. While the Cardinal fans might be thinking sweep, it's the San Francisco left-handed ace who is cleaning up on the Cardinals. Time after time, Dave Dravecky handcuffs hitters. Jack Clark's absence is sharply felt, just as Will Clark's presence. In the second inning, the Giants' first baseman touches one off.
Towering drive to right field. Back goes Oquendo on the track, at the wall, gone.
The man quickly filling the villain's role, call me Jeffrey Leonard, hits his second monstrous homer in as many days. The Hackman goes 3 for 4 as the Giants get even with a 5-0 win. Now it's on to San Francisco, where Craig's club could clinch with a 3-game sweep at Candlestick. The city by the bay hasn't hosted postseason play since 1971. San Francisco's park, Candlestick, can be a player's nightmare. The cold wind can play havoc with the baseball. The wind is blowing Frisco's way on this Friday night in Game 3.
Here comes Chili Davis to score, and the Giants draw first blood. With Clark going, and a hit-and-run fly ball down the right field line. It's going to land for a base hit. Oquendo comes up with it, but here comes Clark, and he is going to score. And he's hit one to deep left center, and look out now. If it's gone, it is gone, and he's got one flap down.
In the 5th inning, Bob Forsch is on in relief. An inside pitch hits Jeffrey Leonard, and when the bases are loaded, the Giants could blow the game open. But Forsch gets out of the trouble. The Cardinals still trail 4-0.
Bobby got Chili Davis to pop up and Will Clark to fly out to medium right field. Got out of that inning, and that was the inning, and that was the ball game that really put us in the World Series.
The silent Cardinal offense comes alive.
High drive into right center and deep. Maldonado on the track, at the wall. It is gone. Home run, Jim Lindemann, and the Cardinals are back in the game.
There's more in the 7th.
The runners are not going, and there's a ball hit up the middle, base hit. Here comes Oquendo around third to score. Hurrying to third is Ford, and the Cardinals are within 1 with the tying run at third. And that's hit up the middle. In comes Ford. Here comes Johnson.
It's 6-3 St. Louis. After a giant run in the 9th, Worrell gets Kevin Mitchell to fly to Willie McGee, and the Redbirds are flying high, taking the first game at Candlestick 6-5. They lead the series 2-1. Game 4 finds two right-handers dueling. Mike Krukow for the Giants and the Cardinals' Danny Cox, back from his battle with a stiff neck. The momentum swings the Redbirds' way early.
Ground ball by the drawn-in infield. Ford scores. Down to third goes Pena, and the Cardinals lead 1-0.
In the 5th, the wind blows momentum Frisco's way.
And he hits a fastball in the air to left field. Coleman going back to the track, to the wall, leaps in the air. It's gone. Home run.
The Giants hold on for a 4-2 win. The series is tied again. Pivotal Game 5 pits the rookie Greg Matthews against the wily veteran Rick Russell, a rematch of Game 1. With the game tied at 2 in the 4th, Terry Pendleton triples with 1 out. He eventually scores the go-ahead run. For the 3rd time, St. Louis has the lead, but for the 3rd time, the Giants come right back.
Instead, it's a base hit into right. In comes Chili Davis to tie. In comes Clark to take the lead, and there are runners at second and third.
The Giants finish the frame with 4 more runs and a 6-3 lead. Middle reliever Joe Price takes over for the Giants in the 5th, and today, the price is right. The Giants win 6-3 and take a 3-2 lead as the series goes back east to St. Louis. Back at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face elimination in Game 6. Rogers' relaxed Giants are humming along.
Even though we're ahead right now in the series, it's not over, and we feel that, tonight's a very, very important ball game.
Here we are now. We got to have 2 wins, and they need 1. So we're just going to have to go out and play and see what happens.
Well, we just about ready to rumble.
To take tonight's rumble, the Giants must get by Pena, Tudor, and the Cardinal faithful. Dave Dravecky starts for San Francisco. In the top of the 2nd with 2 men on, Jose Uribe lines a Tudor pitch toward the gap. But Willie McGee makes a dazzling catch to save 2 runs and an extra base hit. While the Cardinals' defense shines, the Giants break down in the 2nd.
Driven to right, moving in for it is Maldonado. And he, I think, slipped. I don't think it was the case of trying to get under the lights. And Pena is on his way to third.
With 1 out, Jose Oquendo's fly ball tests Maldonado.
Fly ball to right field and pretty shallow to the line. Maldonado makes the catch, and Pena is going to come. The throw to the plate. He is safe.
In the 5th, the Giants have 2 on and nobody out. Dravecky lays down a 2-strike bunt. Watch the play by Pendleton.
He laid a poached egg, and the throw is just in time.
The Cards still cling to the 1-run lead in the 9th.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by her. The Cardinals are still alive.
The Redbirds hang on 1-0 behind brilliant pitching from Tudor, Worrell, and Daly. The National League Championship Series boils down to 1 game at Busch Stadium. Game 7, Wednesday, October 14th. Danny Cox against Atlee Hammaker. The National League pennant is on the line. 1 game, the winner to the World Series. The atmosphere is supercharged as the Cardinal fans flex their muscle, hoping to yell their Redbirds to victory. In the 2nd, the Cards get Hammaker.
And that's banged into center, base hit. And there's a ground ball to right field, base hit. Ground ball to the hole, base hit. Stopping at second is Pena. 1-0 St. Louis, and a blizzard again at Busch.
Now the secret weapon unleashes his assault on the Giants.
A drive into deep left field. Back goes Leonard. Gone.
Armed with a 4-run lead, Cox takes advantage of Cardinal defense and 3 double plays.
Back to Cox, double play.
The Cards are on the verge of winning their 15th National League crown.
High fly ball to shallow left. Vince Coleman, Minnesota bound.
eyes of the baseball world are focused on St. Louis and Minnesota. It's the third time in 6 years Whitey Herzog's Cardinals are in the Fall Classic spotlight. The Twins' last appearance was 1965. The media attention exposes two very different teams. The Twins build around raw power. The Cardinals build on speed, finesse, and amazing character. This team, which has beaten the odds all year, stares adversity in the face again. Jack Clark will sit out the entire series. Terry Pendleton is relegated to hitting left-handed. And to make matters worse, Minnesota has the dome field advantage.
High in the air to deep left field. Coleman goes back. A grand slam.
In Game 1, the Twins teach the Redbirds about Metrodome advantage. It's Homer Hanky heaven for the 55,000 rowdy Twin Rooters. It's a den of horrors for the Cardinals. The pounding finally stops with the Twins on top, 10-1. Game 2, it seems like a recurring nightmare. Minnesota's musclemen are teeing off inside the Homer Dome. Once again, the demolition takes place in the 4th inning. A 6-run explosion sends Danny Cox to the showers and happy Twin fans into hysteria. Behind Bert Blyleven, the Twins win 8-4. The series moves to St. Louis. Back at Busch Stadium, it's a whole new ball game before the fired-up St. Louis fans. John Tudor tames the Twins at the plate, and the Redbirds begin to fly in the 7th inning, trailing 1-0.
All he needs is a fly ball. He hit only one the all season. He grounds it fair for a base hit. Oquendo scores. Pena scores. The Cardinals lead 2-1.
Don Worrell finishes. The Cardinals get back in the series with a 3-1 victory. In Game 4, the Cardinals take the law into their own hands. Tied at 1 in the 4th, Tom Lawless levels Minnesota with a 3-run homer. The utility man steals the spotlight. It's only the second home run of his career. It's one Cardinal fans will never forget. The Lawless blast propels St. Louis to a 7-2 triumph over the Twins and their ace, Frank Viola. And the series is tied at 2. In Game 5, Danny Cox and Bert Blyleven hook up in a scoreless duel. The Redbirds are running in the 6th inning. Vince Coleman and Ozzie Smith pull off a double steal. With the bases loaded and 2 out, Kurt Ford lines a single to center. The Minnesota offense can only muster 2 runs. The Cardinals are 1 game away from the World Championship after the 4-2 victory. But the series heads back to the Metrodome. The Cardinals are poised for the kill in Game 6. In the first, Tom Herr gives Cardinal starter John Tudor a lead.
In the air to deep right field, and Bernansky looking up at this one and gone.
In the 5th, the Redbirds take a 5-2 lead when Willie McGee singles home a run. The Cardinals are 15 outs away from the World Championship, but Don Baylor has other ideas.
To deep left field, and that one is gone.
The Twins end up with 4 in the inning and a 6-5 lead. In the 6th, Ken Herbeck slams the door of the Cardinal hopes of a champagne celebration tonight. Herbeck's grand slam puts the Twins up 10-5. Minnesota goes on to win 11-5, and the series is tied at 3. The odds are stacked in the Twins' favor at home under this dome, but the Cardinals enjoy these pressure cookers.
Another fastball, though, is wrapped into center for a base hit. Lindemann around third comes in to scores. and he hits it into left field for a base hit. So another sudden hero. 2-0 as McGee scores. Here comes the throw home, and he is out!
With 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 6th, Gagne makes a bid for an extra base hit.
Ground ball, Wallace stabs it, throws a one-hopper too late. Twins lead.
Minnesota goes on to a 4-2 victory, and it's time for the Twins celebration.
To the world champion.
This season of '87. It has given us some fond memories, and we hope you've enjoyed our look back at this glorious campaign. This gutsy gang of Cardinals was one of the most resilient teams in all of sport. A team which provided us with some unforgettable thrills. I hope when the pictures of the '87 season flash back through your mind, you'll smile and say, "That's a winner."
We're St. Louis, oh, we're St. Louis. There's just one way to play. The cards will show the way. You know we're here to stay. Vince, Ozzie, Tommy, Jack. Come see the Redbirds fly. Willie, Terry, White's back. Oh, there's no time for looking back. Oh, no. Will win tonight. It's St. Louis, got to be St. Louis. Tell everyone you know, everywhere you go. I'm sold on St. Louis, I'm sold.
Embarrassed? I'm proud! I'm proud to look like Whitey.